everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make these really nice keychains. And I got the inspiration to do these because of the LuluLemon keychain straps. I don't know if you get the reference, but that's where I got the inspiration from, and I really love the way these turned out. This tutorial is totally customizable for any yarn type or any yarn size. So without further ado, let me tell you guys the materials you need to make this project. To make this project, I'm going to use a D-ring. Mine is 4 centimeters long. You can totally choose whichever D-ring size you prefer. You can decide to use one that's bigger or smaller. That's totally up to you. For the yarn, I'm going to use 2 strands of super fine yarn. I'm using 2 strands just to make a thicker yarn, but you can really use whichever yarn type or yarn weight you prefer. I do suggest using cotton because it doesn't stretch as much compared to other types of yarn, but again, that's totally up to you. Then for this project, I'm going to use a 3.5 millimeter hook, but you should use the recommended hook size for the yarn you're using. And finally, you're going to need a needle to weave in the ends. So that's pretty much all we need, so we can now get started with the tutorial. To start, we're going to make a slip knot. So to do that, I roll my yarn on my 2 fingers like this, making an X shape. I then take my hook and pass it underneath here and grab the yarn over here. Turn your fingers, take them off, and pull. Then you can pull again to adjust it to your hook. Now you're going to grab your D-ring and we're going to make single crochets on the flat side. So I'm going to make a total of 8 single crochets, but this number is likely going to be different for everybody because we're not going to use the same yarn weight or same D-ring size. So basically just make single crochets to cover the flat side of your D-ring. So what you want to do is grab your D-ring and you're going to pass your hook inside of it and you're going to yarn over and pull through. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2 to make your first single crochet. Again, insert your hook in the D-ring, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Again, insert your hook inside of the D-ring, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So here I'm going to continue making single crochets until I have 8 on my D-ring. So here's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So here I have my 8 single crochets on my D-ring. Now to do the next step, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now for the next 5 rows, we're going to make single crochets all across. So we're going to skip the chain and insert our hook in the first stitch through both loops and make a single crochet. Go on to the next loop, insert your hook and make a single crochet. Next stitch, single crochet. So go ahead and make single crochets all across your row. Here I'm going to make my last single crochet of the row. So now I'm done with row 2. So we're going to keep making rows of single crochets until we get a strap of 1 inch. So for me that's going to be 6 rows, but again depending on the yarn you're using, the number of rows is probably going to be different. So just keep making rows until you get a 1 inch strap. So here I've done 6 rows, which equals to about an inch. So once you've made enough rows to get an inch strap, you're ready to make the next step. You're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And on this next row only, we're going to make single crochets in the back loops. So we're going to skip the chain and insert our hook in the back loop of the first stitch. So I'm going to insert my hook here and make a single crochet. Next back loop, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to make single crochets in the back loop like this all across. Alright, so here I'm done doing my back loop single crochets. So now that we're done doing that, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and now we're going to restart making regular single crochets through the 2 loops for the rest of the project. So crocheting in the back loops was only for that last row. So basically what we've done right now is only this part, and we have all of this left to crochet. All right, so keep crocheting rows of regular single crochets until you get a 13-inch long strap. Skip the chain and just make a regular single crochet in the first stitch of the row. And we're just gonna repeat this over and over again until our strap is 13 inches long. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this off camera and I'll see you guys when I'm done. Okay, so now I'm done crocheting my strap. If you're curious about how many rows I made a total of 79 rows starting from here. Before cutting your yarn, you're just going to fold it like this and see if it fits your wrist nicely. If you feel like it's too small, you can make more rows, and if you feel like it's too big, you can take out a few rows. As you guys remember, we previously made single crochets in the back loop only, so now we have the front loops available. So whenever you feel like you have the right length, the next step is just to take out some yarn. I would say to pull about 30 centimeters of yarn. I'm gonna cut it. Now the next step is to find the little available loops and to fold your work like this. And now we're going to sew these parts together. So you can take your needle and pass the yarn through. We're going to insert our needle in the front loop of the single crochets, and we're also going to come and insert our hook in the front loop from the beginning. So we're going to do it like this. Then we're going to insert our needle through the next front loop and through the front loop of here like this, and we're just going to do that all across. So front loop here and here. Alright, so when you're done sewing it, you're just going to have to make a knot and weave in the ends. So here I'm going to make a knot with my 2 tails of yarn. I'm going to show you guys what to do if you only have 1 strand of yarn when I'm done making my knot. Alright, so here I'm done making my knot, and I'm going to show you guys how to do the knot if you only have 1 strand. So let's forget I have this one here. Let's pretend it doesn't exist. You're just going to find a loop and put your needle through it and pass the yarn through, leaving a loop like this. And then you're going to take your tail and pass it in the loop and close the knot. But I'm not going to close it because I have my knot already. Alright, so now that I'm done making my knot, I'm going to weave in these ends and I'll show you guys what to do next. Okay, so now that I'm done weaving in my ends, I'm actually gonna go ahead and weave in this end, and I'll be back in a second. So now the last step is going to be to clean up the edges. If you like your work like this, you can definitely just keep it as it is, but I prefer to have like cleaner, straighter edges like this. So I'm going to single crochet all around my keychain. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to insert my hook in one of the edges like this and pull through some yarn. And now it's going to be pretty easy to figure out where to insert your hook, because you just have to pull a little bit on your work and you're going to see holes. So for instance, here there's a hole, there's a hole, hole, just like that. So we're going to insert our hook in these holes and make single crochets. So there's a hole right here. I'm gonna make a single crochet. Next hole is here. Single crochet. Next hole, single crochet. And I'm going to do that all around my work. Okay, so you'll have to go around all of your work, all around. And when you get here, it might look a little weird, but continue making single crochets in the holes. So I'm gonna make one here. And when you get to this point, you can pull a little bit of yarn like this and cut it. And what we're gonna do to join this part is that we're gonna take our needle and pass it underneath here, somewhere close to this edge. So something like this. Just to bring it closer and to close the hole that was there. And now we just have to make a knot and weave in the end. Right, so when you're done doing one side, you can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, and then you're going to be done with your work. All right, so when you're done cleaning up the second side and you're done weaving in your ends, you're officially done with your work. So I really hope you guys enjoyed making this keychain. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more crochet tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.